Hello everyone, I'm Rec-V5.
And I am Sandman99.
And welcome back to Parasite Eve.
Yes.
So, we're going to be continuing on. I believe last time we liberated the police station here. And then now we need to go onwards to... Oh, I can't remember what's next. I think it's the hospital or something.
You shot the puppy.
What?
You shot the puppy.
Well, yeah, but you know, it was like a giant fucking Cerberus thing. So, you know, Cerberus thing's no good. But, yeah, so off-camera here, well, off-camera a lot happened, I guess. The short version, off-camera, I went and I did a bit of, you know, tearing apart of, like, gun parts and things, and cannibalizing of guns, and using tools and things to get my equipment all up. Long explanation is, I fucking wiped my save file by accident, because I'm dumb. And so then I had to go and play straight through the EX game from level 1 all over again and get all the way back here. So our timestamp's a little different, and our equipment's upgraded slightly different, but it's still the same shit. We still have the M9-3, and we still have the B jacket. I think this has a couple more points of attack and a couple less points of range and bullets. And this has about the same defense because I just never upgrade my defense, so our defense is always shit anyways.
Well, I was looking in from time to time while you were doing that recovery operation, and quite frankly, I didn't really see anything that was terribly different than the first time around.
No, there really wasn't. It's minor differences. Like, our gun here, I believe, has 2 points more attack, and then a little bit less range. Just differences in the way that I allocated the points.
Yeah.
On the fly. But anyways, I speed ran through this fucking game as fast as I could, man. In order to get us back here. But so that we could record an episode today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the hospital. That's where we're going back to. And our mad scientist buddy there is gonna say how relaxing fucking being in a lab is for him, because of course it is. You're nuts.
Hey, mad scientist got a mad scientist.
And then, Daniel here is gonna give us fucking 5 magazines of ammunition.
Yeah.
As well as, a pair of car keys.
Yeah, the scary thing is that he can actually spare 5 magazines of ammunition.
No, the scary thing is it fits all in one hand. Because watch, he only holds out one hand during this, right?
Yeah.
See? He's literally holding them overhanded in his hand, man. I mean, I guess Daniel's a big fucking guy, but you know.
Yeah, he probably has hands like the size of baseball gloves, right?
Alright, so we gotta go hospital.
Oh, Aya gets to drive, finally.
Yes, and Aya can in fact drive, and she does in fact have a driver's license.
Yeah.
It's just Daniel likes to drive all the time. I guess that's one of the perks of being the older cop, right?
Uh-huh. I guess so.
Although, I don't know, man. You know, driving, especially in a big crowded city environment, that can be pretty stressful. I don't know if I'd want to drive all the time.
Well, it's funny, but, like, it also depends on whether you know your way around, because I have no difficulty at all driving in the city here, in the city where we live. But I've driven in other cities, like in Toronto and in Chicago a little bit, and that kind of thing. And I found that to be stressful, mainly because if you don't know really where you're going, and you don't know the area well, you're not only trying to pay attention to what's going on around you, but you're also trying to navigate at the same time, which is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I just find the city streets downtown are just way too fucking narrow. Right? Well, like, city streets up by, you know, around here and in the suburban areas, they're so fucking wide, right? But downtown, oh my god, they're narrow.
Yep. Well, the thing is, though, you know, like the streets down there are narrow, and there's lots of one-ways, and they're busy because there's a lot of traffic and that kind of thing. But so long as you know where you're going, That's actually 3/4 of the battle, right? The rest of it is just having the patience to put up with volume delays and, you know, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I just don't like driving downhill.
Because let's face it, I mean, this city might not be as big as Chicago or Toronto, but there is still over 1 million people here, so there's a lot of traffic in certain areas, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I would say that in that respect, there are areas that are just as congested and busy traffic-wise here as there is in a lot of the bigger cities too, like Toronto or Chicago, right?
I don't know. I just like I look at, and then another thing that's annoying too is in some of the residential areas they've started to do like road narrowing, particularly at intersections, and it's just like, well, what the hell are you guys doing?
That's a form of speed limit enforcement where you don't actually have to have photo radar or you know, something like that to enforce it, because what they do is they make it hazardous, like, to drive any faster than the posted speed limit.
I don't know. Right? I feel like it'd be hazardous with how it is to even drive as fast as the posted speed limit, man. Like, holy shit.
Well, you got to realize that...
do they narrow these things down a lot now?
Well, for me, at least, you know, like the posted speed limit in these residential areas is 40 kilometers an hour, right? Which I'm not sure what that is in USA units, but I think it's somewhat... maybe slightly over 20 miles an hour, like 25 miles an hour maybe or something.
Yeah.
And that does, even though I don't do much highway driving anymore, that still does feel pretty slow to me, right? Like things happen at a slow enough speed that I don't feel like I have to rush my, you know, reaction times or anything like that. And I guess the idea being, and of course when you're in the immediate area of a school or playground, that speed limit is actually 30 kilometers an hour, which is somewhat less than 20 miles an hour, right?
Well, sure, but these fucking intersections, they narrow down so much that you just about trade paint with somebody just going through the intersection.
But they do that because the speed limit might be posted at 40, but if everybody has to drive like 10 or so kilometers slower than that because they need to avoid a collision with an oncoming vehicle, I mean, I guess the city is okay with that, right?
I don't know. I think it's absolutely retarded.
That's what it is. It's the same thing as the way that residential subdivisions are designed nowadays. They usually have kind of like a ring road that goes around the outside of it, and then a bunch of basically local traffic only branches going off on the interior and exterior of the ring. And before, in the old days, they used to lay out the city more or less in a grid pattern, like a rectangular grid, right?
And no, man, you're not going to convince me that the grid pattern should have gone away.
Well, no, I'm not trying to convince you. What I'm doing is I'm explaining the reasoning.
I know, they're corrupted reasoning.
Because I learned this, because I did take, as part of my education, I did take some urban planning courses, right? And the reason they did that is to prevent shortcutting through residential areas during rush hour. Because they don't want people trying to drive, you know, leaving the arterial roads to avoid traffic volume, and then they're driving through a residential area where your 4-year-old might be out, you know, playing at the side of the street or crossing the street or whatever.
Because God forbid you should watch your own 4-year-old.
Well, the thing is, though, I'm not saying that I'm not endorsing or condemning that.
Oh, I am absolutely condemning the city.
I'm merely explaining what the reasoning was behind these design choices.
I am absolutely condemning the city. 120%.
And that is all, I guess, if you really want to think of it that way, that's all kind of part of that nanny state thinking, right? Where, you know, they want to...
be everyone's mommy and daddy.
And look out for everybody. Yeah. Right?
No, they should basically focus on making the city's transportation as effective as possible so that you can get from point A to point B in as short a time as possible, and if there do need to be diversions because of traffic volume or accidents or things like that, they should just be allowed to take them.
Yeah. Well,
shortcutting for the win, man. Shortcutting all the way. All the way.
Well, you know what? It isn't going to happen anymore. At least not in the any newer developed areas within, I think that's also a common philosophy amongst most cities nowadays. Any newer developments are all more or less designed that way, right?
Yeah, broken.
So that it is local traffic only, and those roads are intended for the use exclusively of the people who actually live in that area, right?
Well, and by use of people who actually live in that area, it's basically pulling in and out of parking lots. And also, those roads tend to be stupidly narrow now, too, when they design them in newer subdivisions.
Yep. Well, I can't say that I'm entirely pleased with what's going on, but that being said, I did suffer as the victim of an accident of several years ago from an idiot who was driving on this street before it was narrowed, doing probably 20k over the speed limit, and he didn't see my signal light that was on because I was turning off the road, and I was turning left, and he was coming up behind me, and he actually tried to pass me while I was turning and hit me. Right?
Well, that's his own damn fault.
Yeah, I know, but it did damage my truck severely.
Yeah.
And
I remember that. You had to pay for repairs on that door. It still doesn't quite work right.
Yeah, well, actually, no, I didn't have to pay for that. His insurance had to pay for that. But you know what? The guy was also a total slimeball. I had to go and report the accident to the police in person myself, and they had to actually chase him in order to get him to go into the police station to file a report. Because I guess he didn't want his insurance to get involved or something, right? It's like, you know what? I don't really care about your problems. You were an idiot. You caused this. Deal with the consequences, right? And as a result, though, I also got to drive a Dodge Charger for 2 weeks too.
Yeah.
Or a month or something like that. On and his insurance company picked up the bill for that.
Of course.
But
and I'm sure that made them good and happy.
Well, you know why I got to drive a Dodge Charger, right? Because it was the policy of the insurance company to provide me with a vehicle that was the closest to the equivalent of what I had, right? But the funny thing is, they rental companies don't rent four-wheel drive pickup trucks, right?
Yeah.
So what they did instead is they rented me a all-wheel drive Dodge Charger. And their reasoning was, I guess, that since the Charger was all-wheel drive, then it was similar to my truck, right? But I was okay with that. I mean, it was kind of fun to drive a muscle car around for a couple of weeks. Although it was a bit wasted on me because I drive like a little old lady, right?
Yeah. You're like Turtle Man for driving.
But it was pretty funny. I didn't even get like the super souped up version, right? Because I was reading the owner's manual. Actually, within a block, I had to pull over and read the owner's manual because when I got in it, the seat heater was on. And it was burning my ass after I'd been driving it for like a block. So I had to pull over and figure out how to turn the seat heater off, because I couldn't figure it out just by reading the big TV screen they had in the dashboard, because like the inside of that car, it was like trying to fly an airplane or something. It was ridiculous, the amount of indicators and gauges and dials and things that were on this thing, all in like electronic display, right?
Yep.
It was a huge screen too. It was like, but anyway, and so I got to reading the manual, and I discovered that there is actually a package available with, what did they call it now? I think they called it jet thrust or something like that. It was like some kind of catchy name for it anyway.
Yep.
But you remember those Dodge Demons when what's his name there, Joey from Friends, did that little video on them?
Yeah, yep.
And he was talking about the Dodge Demon and how it was like the fastest accelerating car to do the quarter mile, like of a production car, right?
Yep.
Well, these things, apparently the Charger had a very similar package for that, complete with paddle shifter on the steering wheel and all that kind of stuff. And they said that you shouldn't use the, like, because I guess you could turn this on and off, this feature. You shouldn't use this feature in normal traffic situations, as it may be hazardous to yourself and others on the road, right? Because we're talking like 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or something ridiculous like that, right?
Yep.
That being said, that car that I was driving was more the ordinary car that a regular person could afford to buy. it still was a pretty torquey car, right?
Yeah.
You know, like it had a big engine in it, and it was a relatively small vehicle for an engine that size and that horsepower. I think it had a 300 horsepower engine in it or something like that, right? It would go anyway. If you put your foot into it, it would pull you back in the seat. And the only other complaint I had was that it was so low, because I drive a pickup truck, right? So I'm used to, and it's a 4-wheel drive pickup besides, so I'm used to sitting up fairly high, right?
Yeah.
Off the ground. And also because of my knees, because I had both of my knees replaced a number of years ago, I found climbing in and out of the really low slung Dodge Charger was a bit of a chore. Because I'm not that flexible anymore, and I can't bend my legs past a certain point. And
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So once I was inside, I was okay, but getting in and out was a pain in the ass.
Although you have done quite a bit to maintain your physical fitness.
Well, yeah, I do. Like I do squats and deadlifts and stuff like that. And I mean, I used to do those things with quite heavy weight because I've been weight training my entire life, right?
Yep.
Ever since I was a teenager. But now that I'm old, my joints hurt and stuff like that if I do the, real intense workouts that I used to do.
Yep.
So I'm kind of backed off a lot on the weight, and I'm just doing higher reps and lighter weights, but I'm still doing, like 150-pound squats and stuff like that, right? But
well, that's all right though, because that reminds me kind of how there was this old lady who went and she was 92 years old or something, and she couldn't walk. She was in a wheelchair, and then she went to a powerlifter's gym, and then she got herself up to the point where she was squatting 100 pounds, and then she could walk without a walker, without a cane, and without a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So that's 93 years old.
I saw that. You showed me that, actually, and that was pretty amazing, yeah. And then she ended up dying of old age, within 5 years later anyway, but...
she could walk for those years.
It improved her quality of life quite a bit, though. That's one of the reasons that I still do spend about an hour a day doing some kind of physical activity, though, right?
Yeah.
And I mix up what I do. One day I'll do squats and deadlifts and that kind of thing, leg exercises. Another day I do upper body stuff. I do a lot of dumbbell work and stuff like that now.
Yep.
And then another day I'll just take a rest day a bit, and I'll walk on the treadmill for a while and then ride the bike for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I try and do something every day just because it helps, especially when you get older, to maintain your balance and your flexibility and that kind of thing, right? Yeah,
just to move around a bit even.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? I can walk up and down the stairs. I can, carry heavy weights and pick up stuff. I'm still very strong for a guy my size, right?
Yeah, you can carry big-ass TVs.
Yeah, and, there was another time we had this bin that we put in the parking lot for cleanup, and somebody had left a tire for a full-size vehicle tire laying on the ground next to the bin, because I guess the bin had been full or something. So I grabbed the tire, and it was completely mounted on a steel rim and everything. I don't know why they were throwing away the rim, but anyway, I heaved it up on top of the bin, which was probably about 8 or 9 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother-in-law was out there with me. He was helping me to put stuff in this bin that people had just left laying on the ground in the parking lot.
Yep.
And he looks at me and says, "I can't believe you just did that," because I threw it vertically about 10 feet, but I also threw it horizontally about 20 feet or so.
Yeah.
With one hand.
Well, that's the kind of thing you can do, though, if you spend your whole life strength training, right?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, though, I didn't even think about it. I just did it, right?
Yeah. Well, but that's the way, too. You can do things like that, and you can do things like that and also not get hurt.
Yeah. Well, and that's at the age that I am, too. I mean, I used to be much stronger and fitter, 20 years ago than I am now, right?
Yeah, because now you're in, your your
I'm in my
60s.
60s now, but you know, even when I was in my 40s, I was still, you know, like quite powerful, and I was agile and quick, and I could climb, and I could, you know, like lift things and stuff like that. Like back then, I could do a bench press that was so heavy I actually bent the bench that I was on. Like the bench, like I was doing like 335 pounds on the bar, right?
Yep.
And between that and my own weight, I guess that exceeded the bench's rating, and it almost collapsed the bench. Because I went to push the bar back up and set it on the cradle, and when I was done doing a couple of reps, and I actually couldn't straighten my arms. Like my arms were fully straightened and my elbows were locked, but I couldn't reach high enough to put the bar on the cradle again.
So you had to go and crawl yourself from under the bar?
Yeah, no. I managed to kind of arch my back a little bit and stretch in order to put it onto the cradle. And yeah, my bench bent enough that I actually lost a couple of inches of height on it.
Wow.
Like from that position, right?
Yeah,
so
and then after that, you ended up having to go to a flat bench, right?
Yeah, I went, because that bench was a cantilever bench, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I ended up having to go to a flat bench because it's a little bit sturdier. But yeah, with 335 pounds on the bar, and that's a 7-foot, you know, like chrome steel bar, right?
Yep.
And, you know, like that bar would sag. Like you could see a visible sag in the bar when you had all the weight on it, right? Even when I was holding it, it would sag.
Yep.
Like from either side of where I had my hands. So.
Oh, that's right. We've got to go in this way. We got to use the card key here.
Yeah. And I mean, I was never really a terribly big guy. I'm about 5'9", but you know, when I was really in the prime of my life like that, I weighed about 230 pounds.
Well, even now, like you're basically a big gorilla. For the viewers who don't know, you're basically a big gorilla.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, is that I'm completely and totally self-taught and self-trained as well, right?
Yeah.
I've never had any coaching or any trainer, professionals looking, you know, teaching me or anything like that. So I don't look like those bodybuilder types, right? I look more like a miniature version of those guys that are in the strongman competitions.
Yeah.
You know, like those guys that are like 6.5 feet tall and weigh 400 pounds. Well, I look like a pint-sized one, a pint-sized one of those guys, right?
Pint-sized strongman.
But yeah, I mean, there was, you know, years ago when I was younger, there was, you know, like a guy that was sort of, actually, he was the husband of a friend of my wife's. And we used to visit with them every now and again, and they were moving. So I was over there helping them move furniture and stuff. And this guy was like 6'6".
Yep.
But he could not. He was like completely out of breath and tired, and he couldn't lift the same kind of, like we were lifting some of the heavier furniture and stuff like that. And he was having trouble carrying his end, like a deep freeze kind of thing, you know, and I was able to hoist my end of the deep freeze up just fine and carry it around, but he was having a lot of trouble, right?
Yep.
So, but also he might have been 6'6", but I think I outweighed him by 15 or 20 pounds too, even though I was, you know,
small,
like a lot smaller than him, right?
So the Chrysler Tower here is glowing to shit. I think it was glowing to shit on our first playthrough too, but that kind of gives you a idea, especially if you were coming through here on your second playthrough. If you somehow didn't see the Chrysler Tower on the map, you should go there.
Yeah.
Although we won't be going there until we level up a fair bit anyways.
Yeah, you need to do that. But anyway, you know, everyone gets old, I guess, and I've definitely lost a step in the last, you know, since 20 years ago. And,
yeah, but you're still stronger than anybody your age. And most people under your age.
And I have to accept the fact that I'm getting old and just, you know, dial things back a little bit, right?
Yeah,
So-
for arthritis reasons, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I've got, you know, like an irritated rotator cuff in my left shoulder and arthritis in my back and, of course, artificial knees. So, you know, that kind of thing, you know, I'm starting to wear out and fall apart.
Old and worn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will use a tool on that M10 just to get it out of my inventory.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll be full and you won't be able to pick up other stuff.
Oh, look at that. We've got a 40-round mag in our pistol now.
Wow.
You know, it's like the did I show you that thing, that 3D
Yeah,
animation where it's like the AK-47 banana
Yeah,
mag,
it's
but
curled,
it makes like...
it's curled like a ram's horn or something?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do that, you might as well just put a drum on it, right?
Just about, yeah. I mean, you'd think that you'd get gravity feeding problems as it goes round and round.
Well, I think that was more of a fictionalized thing anyways, right?
Yeah, it was just a funny animation somebody made.
But just the same, though, if that handgun actually held 40 rounds, the magazine sticking out the bottom of the handle would probably be longer than the handle of the gun.
Either that or that's a big fat-ass handle on that gun.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we still got lots and lots of more shit to pick up before we get out of this hospital here. And, you know, using a couple tools means I don't have to throw medicines on the ground.
Yeah. So were they considering making a remaster of this game?
I don't think so. I didn't...
No?
Well, yes. I remember us talking about this, because I heard about this. And yeah, I think I heard rumors about them remastering this game. I don't know if there's any truth to them or not. But, you know, maybe it's going to happen, maybe it's not. But, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have my own ideas about what would be a remaster, or in a remaster anyways, because I tend to be very much of the opinion that if you're going to, like, modify something, or, like, re-release something, that you should basically stay completely and totally loyal to the source material, right? So, like, even if they remade it with today's technology, it should still be, like, fixed camera angles, it should still be, like, this combat system. Don't, like, remake the whole damn game and, like, change everything about it, right?
Well, you don't think that it would be worth it to have, like, even a toggleable, you know, like, over-the-shoulder view or something like that for looking at things more closely in the environment or something like that?
In my opinion, part of what makes Parasite Eve as a game is the restrictiveness of some of these elements, right? Like this camera angle thing. It's just part of the game. It's core to the game. And if you get rid of that or you change it, you turn it into something else. Like, it'd be very easy to take this and then make a couple of adjustments and then, oh no, you have a third-person shooter instead of a turn-based RPG Parasite Eve type of thing, which is actually kind of what the later games ended up turning into, as far as I'm aware. Well,
what I was thinking was that, you know, you just add that as a feature, but keep the turn-based gameplay and everything the same, right? Like, you know, I would consider that to be more of a quality of life change than anything, right?
I guess to each their own, but
yeah, but then again, because, you know, like you miss a lot of things, like some of these boxes that are hidden behind obstacles where
that's why you gotta, like, wall hump things, and then you gotta look for, like, the boxes that light up when you have encounters.
I guess so, yeah.
All right, they want you to explore these areas. At least they didn't design it so that, like, there are things you can't see. Like, for example, I know you and I were talking about Baldur's Gate 3 earlier, and you were talking about how you can't look up. It's like, well, at least this game is like a 2D space, essentially, so you don't have to look up or down.
Yeah, well, see, what I think is that a lot of these games would benefit from a toggleable over-the-shoulder mode, right? Because, yes, in Baldur's Gate 3, you can get a really good overhead top-down view that you can zoom in or out, right?
Yep.
But sometimes, especially when it comes to interacting with objects in the environment, or maybe even spotting enemies that you can't see from the top-down view because they might be a little bit out of the range of the circle that you can see in, it might be nice to have the over-the-view shoulder camera so that you can look upward, actually. That's the main thing, right? If you it would be nice to be able to look up and down, right?
Yeah, well, you had been saying something about how you were in an encounter in Baldur's Gate not too long ago, and you were really wishing that you could look up in order to see the enemies there.
Well, because they had, like that game is actually three-dimensional in nature, right? Like you could have enemies firing arrows or spells or whatever at you from elevations, from elevated positions, or you could be looking down at them and shooting at them from an elevated position. And sometimes just for targeting purposes, or even just trying to locate those enemies so that you know where the damage is coming from, it would be nice to be able to switch to an over-the-shoulder view to be able to look at an upward angle from your character's perspective, right?
Yeah.
It would just help. But personally, I also think that a first-person view is good for interacting with objects in the environment too, because that's one thing about Baldur's Gate 3 is that you do have kind of free movement while you're exploring and that kind of thing.
Yep.
But when you go to interact with an object that you want to try and pick up or whatever, well, they have kind of like a press the D-pad to cycle through the various objects that are eligible to pick up. But it's a bit clunky when you compare it even to something like Oblivion, where you can go into first person and put your targeting reticle on top of the thing you want to interact with.
And then just pick it up.
And then just pick it up. So it would be good to be able to, have a first-person perspective like that, right?
Yeah.
In fact, it's extremely useful for interacting with your environment.
Well, I know in Oblivion and other things like that, I just tended to go like pure first-person all the time.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing is, too, is, you like the third-person camera to spot enemies, whereas I'm just, like, always looking around, right?
Yeah. Well, I use the third-person camera a lot when I'm in battles, because, like you just said, it's easier for me to keep track of where everybody is, and, because the first-person point of view, I mean, you don't have any peripheral vision or anything like that, so you can't see what's going on unless you're looking directly at it, right? But by the same token, the first-person view is better for things like sniping, whether it's with a bow or a looking down the sights of a rifle or whatever, right? And it's also the best thing for interacting with objects in your environment.
I definitely even like it for melee combat, too, because I like to be able to hit my enemies without accidentally hitting my companions and things.
Yeah.
Anyways, here comes the jet of death.
Yeah, you better run.
Yeah, you run this way.
Run for your life. Run
you don't
for
go
your
back
life.
to the elevator, because it will tell you that it's not working, at which point you'll just turn around and die.
Yeah. This elevator is not working. You are fucked.
Yeah, that's really what it should say. But what it says is, oh no, the elevator's not working. But you can't actually get that dialogue without dying, basically.
Yeah. And you can't fly away like she can.
No, the cutscene is almost the same, but what you see at the end of it is Aya jumps off the roof, and Aya can't survive jumping off the roof, so she dies.
Because she forgot to take her hang gliding kite outfit with her.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that was anticlimactic.
Yep, that was. I remember that being actually a somewhat troublesome battle the last time around.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it took probably like 2 or 3 shots. This I don't even know if you can actually die here or not. Maybe? Is this a fight that you can die on? Somebody let me know. Somebody enter it with like a club 1. Try beating the damn spider to death. I've never done that before. I always just blow them away and then boom.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I like to have as much freedom as possible when it comes to those kinds of things. Like I like to a toggleable first person, third person perspective is my favorite way to play these types of games, right?
I don't necessarily
because you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily need dynamic cameras as long as the game is not naively designed in such a way that you would need dynamic cameras. So, for example, like if you're playing something like, if we're staying on the topic of D&D, the Pool of Radiance games very obviously don't really need a dynamic camera.
Well, yeah, but those were basically a top-down grid-based.
The way that they're designed
right?
is completely absent of that need.
Yeah.
Right.
But on the other hand, the sequel to this game, the camera angles I found were terrible.
Yeah.
Right? I actually didn't play the sequel to this game very long before I gave up in frustration just because I had trouble, first of all, controlling the character and movement and that kind of thing. Yeah, because
it was very much, it had tank controls. It was very much like a Dino Crisis type of thing.
Yeah, but also some of the camera angles were really bad, right? Like you couldn't see things and, it was just awkward. If we ever do a playthrough of that one, you can play that one too. Because I tried.
Here, we want to go into inventory.
That was one thing I found I was disappointed. That was a case of a sequel not staying enough like the original, right?
Yep. We gotta throw some guns in with Wayne.
Yep.
We have too much crap now.
Wayne, yeah, you got too much baggage. You got to pawn some of this stuff.
Our gun, though, it does almost double the damage of a frickin' rocket launcher now.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay, well, it looks like you got your inventory all emptied out.
I have one tool left. How to spend my tool. M1911 sounds like it's decent enough. Because it would give me 1 extra bullet and 2 extra damage. Or maybe I'll just hold on to the tool. Because I think I got some bonus points from that too.
See, that was something that kind of bugged me about the... like, I've got a copy of that Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
For... which one is it now? PlayStation 4 or something. And I tried playing that a little bit too, and I found it frustrating the way that you interact with the environment to pick things up, because it had that sort of thing where something that you might want to pick up would glow, kind of like what in this game a little bit, where you see the little bright spot. But it was troublesome to try and get yourself maneuvered around to the point where you could actually interact with that item. That kind of thing, right? I didn't like that very much.
I guess, too, though, you start to adapt to these things if you play enough of these games. Like, they're awkward systems, but they're similar enough to other things that you're kind of like, okay, I just need to fidget back and forth in this way in order to get it, right?
Yeah.
You make these compensations.
Well, I didn't really like the idea that you couldn't actually, customize your character or even give your character a unique name or anything like that, too, in that game, right? Because I wanted to play John Smurd.
Well, I don't know. If we ever play that game, maybe I'll have to play that game or something.
Yeah, well, we'd have to dust off my PlayStation 4 and get it working again. Which probably wouldn't be too much of a chore, since I think it's probably already hooked up to the splitter box here, but...
Yeah, when I set up your new monitor, I also set up this HDMI splitter for you, but there are things that are plugged into it that are not actually plugged into power, so...
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out how to plug them into power either. I think we got plenty of outlets here. You just have to take the time to dig through all the cords and find the right ones.
Pretty much, yep.
Because there's a rat's nest of cords in behind everything there.
So now we've got to go looking for
You never know.
Eve.
That's where my new involuntary pet might be nesting too, right?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, this mouse that I've been trying to catch for the last 2 weeks. And the little fucker he has escaped 5 times from the spring traps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that mouse is either the smartest or the luckiest mouse I have ever seen, because, you know, like normally you set a spring trap with a bit of bait and, you know, you hear a snap and you come down and there's a dead mouse in the trap, right?
Yep.
With this one, you hear a snap and you come down and there's an empty trap.
Oh, I forgot to put my junk away with fucking Wayne.
Uh-oh.
Let's just go do that before we get over encumbered.
All right.
Because I've been keeping track now, because when I had to play through things again, I actually started collecting junk for Wayne.
So you're going to build the custom super gun,
Yeah,
are you?
I might actually build the custom super gun.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, you know what? If you're going to really show off the game in its complete, you know, form, then you might as well show off the super gun too.
Yeah, might as well collect 300 pieces of junk. So what are we at for junk right now? Anyways, I've been keeping notes. So we are at... I think we're a long ways away right now.
Yeah, 2.
No. This will be 14.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are a long ways away.
Yeah, so we're about 0.5% of the way
Yeah.
to Wayne's gun. Well, that's okay. One can always go through Central Park and one-shot things for an hour or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether people want to watch that kind of grinding, though.
No, I do that off camera.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to my involuntary pet here. First of all, my wife found these traps on Amazon. These little, they're like a plastic trap that you set just by squeezing both ends together, kind of thing, and the jaw opens up.
Yep.
And then there's like a little really sensitive platform on it that if you even put just a little bit of weight on it, it snaps it shut, and you have like a little cup that unscrews from the base that you put your bait in, and then you screw it back in, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the mouse has escaped from those a couple of times. And then I, figured, well, those aren't working, so I got some of the good old-fashioned wooden, spring-loaded, like spring-type wire traps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the little fucker keeps setting those things off, and then he'll steal the bait and disappear, right? And all I've got left is the sprung trap with nothing in it.
Yep.
So now I got some of those little live capture tunnel-style traps with a trigger inside that will make a spring-loaded door shut when he goes in after the bait.
Yep.
But he hasn't gone into one of those yet.
Yo, you even had something weird set up at some point with a fucking ladder and a bucket.
Yeah, I tried to do that, but I think that bucket was too high.
Yeah.
Like normally, something about the size of a 5-gallon pail works well, right? And you need to, the reason I got that idea is because we did this at work. In one of the vans out at the the aggregate plant I was working at, we had mice in our lunch van, right?
Yep.
And so one weekend before we all went home, we set a 5-gallon pail in there and threw a couple of pieces of fruit in the bottom of it, and then leaned a wooden stick up against the lip of the pail. And when we came back Monday morning, well, there was about 3 mice caught in this pail, right?
Huh.
Because they all crawl up the little stick and then drop into the pail to get the fruit, and then they can't get back out.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that the pail is just high enough, like the pail is just barely tall enough, a 5-gallon pail, that a mouse can't jump out of it. Because I actually did look up on YouTube, how high can a mouse jump? And apparently they can jump like 15 inches, right?
Wow.
Yeah, I was amazed. Because this guy actually demonstrated it with, he started off with some kind of, it looked like a sort of a rectangular shaped garbage can kind of thing, about, I don't know, a couple of feet tall or 18 inches tall or something. And he used a weird little homemade tipping platform that he put the bait on top of. So they go out there and crawl onto that thing, and then it would spin and drop them into the pail, right?
Yeah.
But he put a camera on this thing so he could, record their movements and stuff. And they were actually jumping almost high enough to reach the lip of this pail.
Wow.
And so what he did, of course, is he released the little buggers again after he caught them. And then he would get a pair of shears out and cut an inch off of the height of the pail.
Yeah.
Just to find out, how high the pail had to be or how low it had to be before the mice could actually jump out of it.
Yeah.
And they can actually jump like, 14, 15 inches, right? But as far as I could tell, since they were still in that pail come Monday morning after, 2 days, I guess they couldn't quite jump high enough to jump out of a 5-gallon pail.
Well, there you go.
Although they may have been able to get close, right?
There we go. I got a tool. There's a tool hidden there.
Yeah. But anyway, one of these days I'm going to get them.
Someday, somehow.
Someday, somehow.
There, 120 range, that's probably good enough.
And he definitely seems to like chocolate because that, I tried baiting the traps with different things.
Yep.
And he has ignored everything except I've got a, and it's not just a plain or run-of-the-mill, chocolate bar. It's like a fancy schmancy chocolate bar, like a Lind chocolate bar or something, right? And I break little pieces of that off and use it as the bait for the traps.
Fucking
and he seems
mice he's living in fucking life of luxury.
Yeah,
here.
and he seems to like chocolate quite a bit. Although so far all I've been doing is feeding him. I haven't actually succeeded in catching it yet. But maybe I haven't bothered to reset the spring traps yet, so maybe he'll try one of the live capture, like tunnel style traps if the spring traps aren't around.
You never know. Or the mouse will walk out of here one of these days asking for his insulin shot. All right, we got all 3 charms now, I think. Do we have all 3 of them now? Amaya, Mayok, and Narita.
But I found out, though, like from that informative video that I watched, that mice can fit through a hole the size of a dime.
Wow.
And that's pretty damn small.
Yeah, well, fuck. Anywhere you see a seam in around here, you'd have to fucking fill it with, like, I don't know, spray foam insulation or something.
Yep. I don't know. I know I wouldn't be able to find the carcasses afterwards, but I might have to resort to putting down a little box full of tasty poison grain or something. That's a mouse bait that we could, used to buy at places like Granger and stuff like that, right? Like for problems like having mice in your place of work and that kind of thing, right? But I would imagine you could probably buy poison, those little, like all it was a little box about the size of a matchbox with some, like basically raw wheat in it.
Yep.
That had been treated with some sort of poison to kill mice, right?
So now we're back to the sewers, and we get to navigate up and down these sewers in a grid pattern.
Yep.
And just basically look for any useful items and things in them. And I can't necessarily tell at the end of these long passageways if there's something at the end. I think in a few of them there might be, but I can't exactly remember. So I just walk into every single area possible. And I always start off going through the sewers to the right here, and I explore that top area mostly just because it's there. And I just walk right until I can't walk right anymore, and then I start going down and to the right, down and to the right. And then I go up and to the right, like I go back up the other side. And that's kind of how I navigate this area. And if you do that, you can't really get lost, right? Although I guess it's kind of hard to get lost in a grid pattern area anyways. Even with every part of the area looking identical. If you try enough combinations, you'll find your way out eventually. Yeah, 227 damage. We're only like 13 points of damage away from doubling rocket launcher damage.
Yeah, but just imagine what the rocket launcher would be like if you'd have been working on it like that.
The only problem is I don't think you can.
No?
Mm-mm. I don't think you can actually upgrade the rocket launcher.
Yeah, that's something that always kind of makes me shake my head about other games too in this sort of loosely similar genre, is that you have all these varieties of weapons and stuff, and yet the good old riot shotgun turns out to be like the best all-round weapon in the game, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like in Fallout 4, for example, you can get rocket launchers and Gatling lasers and mini guns and all that kind of stuff. But when you do the damage per second calculation for all of these things, all perks and things considered, well, the plain old combat rifle puts out just as much damage as like something like the minigun would, right, per second.
Yeah.
And it weighs less than half as much, and the ammunition is really a lot cheaper and easier to find, right? Like they
kind of botched up their heavy guns thing, because they wanted you using heavy guns in the beginning, but they sort of then had this idea of like level balance. But I don't know, balance in a single player game, it's kind of how you do it anyways. Like, don't bother.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that
it's just not important.
Like you open up with a minigun on a group of raiders, and you hear a raider yell, "Fucking minigun!" And then it's like, oh well,
Yeah, you're out there throwing snowballs at them.
Yeah, well, basically you're throwing like you're operating a high-speed pea shooter, right? And really, even I would say that in that game, probably the best all-round weapon, it might not be the most powerful, but the best, most versatile weapon in that game, vanilla, is the combat rifle. Although I would say the assault rifle, in spite of the fact that nobody likes it because it's ugly and it's big and bulky, is probably the best weapon in that game.
Well, it's certainly very accurate, even when firing full auto.
Yeah, it's extremely accurate. It has almost no recoil at all. So you can fire it, you can spray and pray with that thing and actually hit what you're aiming at most of the time, because there's almost no kick to it, right?
Yep.
And it has like if you put a drum magazine on it, it has a very large magazine size, so chances are you'll be able to kill whatever it is you're shooting before you run out of bullets. The only drawback to it is that for some reason in Fallout 4, 5.56 ammunition is rare, whereas in Fallout New Vegas, that was the most common type of ammunition in the game, right?
Of course, you could always go and make your own 5.56 ammunition.
Yeah, but you have to build your
weapon manufacturing,
your ammunition plant, and you also have to have the right perks and everything to even be able to have the recipe for that, right?
It just goes to show, though, that it's worth accumulating those things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know what? If I can find a legendary assault rifle, then, yeah, chances are that'll become my mainstay weapon, right? That being said, I've added many other weapons in that game through mods. And so... one of my favorites is the Riot shotgun, which is a reproduction, of course, of the Riot shotgun from the Fallout New Vegas, right? And, like it's similar in a lot of ways to the Fallout 4 combat shotgun, except that it has a bit faster fire rate.
Yep.
And also, you can add barrel attachments and things to it to tighten up the spread of the shotgun pellets too, right? That is not available for the combat shotgun.
Damn it. Now our gun is a melee weapon. I hate darkness. Darkness sucks.
Oh, but it doesn't last all that long.
No, it's just annoying. I'd like to get resist darkness on our armor, but I'm pretty sure you can only find that inside the Chrysler building.
But the funny thing is that I've even found some legendary miniguns and that kind of thing. Even the occasional legendary Gatling laser. But even then, that still doesn't really make it worthwhile.
I walk up and I beat you with my gun for 300 damage.
Yeah.
Thing only does 4 fucking damage to me, man.
Yeah.
Death 4 damage at a time.
So yeah, I think that, and then you have especially weapons like the flamer and that kind of thing too. They're big and bulky and heavy, and the ammunition is rare, and they're weak.
Yeah.
Right? Like a vanilla flamer does hardly any damage at all. Mm-hmm. And the range is so short that you're basically at melee distance when you're killing something with it, right?
Yeah, well, that's why we ended up making our mod to give the flamer more range.
Yeah, we actually looked at old World War II era training films on flamethrowers.
Yeah, thank you, U.S. Army.
Yeah. And like these are like the old original black and white training films that soldiers would have watched, right?
Yeah, and they even talked about like the range of a flamethrower, and they talked about the consistency of your mixture and altering the consistency of your mixture for different situations, and how flamethrowers on like the backpack flamethrowers worked, how flamethrowers on tanks worked.
Yeah.
Flamethrowers on everything. It was everything you ever need to know possibly about flamethrowers.
Yeah, but our biggest takeaway from it was that a flamethrower of the type that is in Fallout 4 should be effective up to a range of at least 30 or 40 yards.
Yeah.
Not 5 or 2 yards. Basically.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Or if you put the extended barrel on, I think it was good up to about 3.5 or 4 yards, right? Like one floor tile?
Yeah. Yeah, the range on the flamethrower was absolutely garbage.
Yeah, it basically made it completely not worth it to use. But, like that one we were actually able to remedy quite a bit now in my game with that mod. Flamethrowers are scary fucking weapons now. Like, if you see somebody coming with a flamethrower, you run for your life. But, miniguns, we tried tweaking with that one a little bit too, but there's only so much that you can do because the base damage of each bullet is so low, right?
Yep.
And I don't know, I mean, I'm not a military weapon expert or anything like that, but I've seen miniguns in operation in movies and stuff like that, and I mean, those things cut down trees, right? Like...
I got to see a guy walking. Oh, I can't remember now. It was like because I used to watch like the gun tuber thing, right? Just a little bit because I'm interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like the professional Russian.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like it was like what the hell was it now? This guy, he wanted to fire a minigun, but he couldn't do it in his jurisdiction, so he actually had to travel somewhere else into the middle of nowhere, and then he went out into the fucking desert with this fucking minigun. and was like firing off this minigun. I can't even remember where I saw that now. And it was mostly just for like the memes, right? Just for fun, but...
Yeah.
There we go. You can't afflict me with darkness if you're too busy having me walk into you.
Yeah, but anyway, that being said, our solution for the minigun in Fallout 4 was to increase the fire rate.
Yeah.
So that, you know, like, because before the fire rate actually was kind of low.
That's another weird thing. It's a fucking minigun.
Yeah, and we almost doubled the base fire rate on it without really changing any other parameters. I think we also fiddled with the barrel parameters to narrow the field of fire up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that was another one of those ridiculous things where it was like firing a fucking sawed-off shotgun or something, right? With the shells sticking out at the end of the barrel.
Yeah, it's like something that heavy is not going to have that much spread.
Yeah.
Even firing at really high rates, wherever you're pointing it at is where the bullets are going to go.
It should have a pretty tight spread for all of the bullets that you fire in that direction. So we changed some of the barrel parameters to tighten that up as well, and that actually made it into a considerably more effective weapon. Like before. You know, like in the opening sequences there where you go to Concord and rescue Preston Garvey and his, you know, company from the Raiders, and you have to kill that Deathclaw with the minigun. Well, before we made that mod, I couldn't even kill the Deathclaw with the minigun. The spread on the minigun was so wide that even if I aimed it manually, half the bullets would miss, right? When it's at the other end of the street. And now, since we tightened up the spread and increased the fire rate, I mean, I still have to expend the better part of a drum of ammunition.
Yeah.
But that Deathclaw doesn't make it all the way down the street to me, right? Like, I just pour hot lead into it until it drops dead, and it's usually a comfortable distance away still when it's done, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of the, you know, what you would expect from a gun like that.
Yeah, and that's on survival, no less.
And that's on survival mode, yeah.
More medicine 3s. I've got so many medicine 3s now, I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there are so many, even in the vanilla game, there are so many viable alternatives to those types of guns that the only reason that you would use them is because you were really a fan of that type of weapon or something, right? You know, like if you really thought they were cool, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like a player preference, like in Skyrim, where you like to be the two-handed, you know, warrior type and chop everything into little pieces at close range, whereas I prefer to play an archer, right?
Although, to be fair, two-handed weapons are actually good in that game, whereas in, say, I don't know, Diablo 1, if you were to use a two-handed weapon, you'd might as well also sign here for, you know, the pre-order for your casket.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, it comes down to player preference.
Right, you walk up to Griswold and you say, "Hey, Grizz, I'd like a two-handed great axe, please." And he's like, "Okay, would you like an open casket or a closed one?"
Yeah, well, that kind of depends on what I look like after I'm done, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But anyway, my playing style in that type of game, I prefer something that is relatively small and light and can be aimed with some precision. And, you know, especially when you're playing in those survival or hardcore modes in those games, you can't afford to just stand out in the middle of the open and try and use suppressing fire from some high-speed, you know, weapon like a minigun, because all your enemy has to do is hit you 2 or 3 times and you're dead, right?
Yep. And they don't really get suppressed. They more just stand there and get shot.
Yeah, they just stand there and soak up bullets and shoot back at you, right? So.
Although, thankfully, Raiders really don't know how to shoot guns.
Yeah, they're not very good shots. I still remember that. That was really funny when we took Chef Perry out to test the, when we were making the alchemy mod. We took Chef Perry out to test the potion of armor. And I went out and I stood in front of the raider who was about 3 floor tiles away. And he whipped out his pike pistol and he emptied it at me and didn't hit me once. And so he reloaded it and I continued to stand out there and he emptied it at me again and still didn't hit me. Or he hit me, or he managed to, in something like 24 shots, he managed to hit me 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, something like that.
It was
barely enough to actually show off what you were trying to show off.
Yeah, exactly. We had to make 2 or 3 attempts and stand and actually move closer to him so that he could maybe have a better chance to hit, right?
But those are the behind-the-scenes things that you guys don't see.
Yeah.
Just how terrible the aims are in Fallout 4.
That being said, though, there are some enemies in that game that are very good shots. And some of them are super mutants, actually. Like a super mutant just armed with a regular pipe rifle.
Yep.
And he can hit you from a long ways away. Right? Like, whereas a raider at that distance...
he's never going to hit you.
Yeah, he's not going to hit you. You could stand out in the middle of the street and take careful aim and make sure you hit him the first couple of times you shoot. And there could be bullets whizzing by you all over the place, but none of them are going to hit you unless it's by accident. But I don't know how you would fix something like that, and I'm not sure that I want to anyway, because it's always good for a laugh.
True. Yeah, speaking of which, I need to remember to check this side of things.
Is there something you need to find in here?
No, not really. Just, there might be an item on the ground or something.
Oh, it's just a general exploring and hoarding of items, right?
Yeah, you take a couple steps, you walk down this passageway, and you find a fucking grenade launcher stowed away in the fucking sewers there, right?
Yeah, because
this is America.
Yeah. Well, because the sewer maintenance staff have the right to defend themselves just like anybody else.
That's right. And what better way to defend yourself than with a grenade launcher? I mean, whatever you shoot with that ain't getting back up.
Yeah. Yeah, neither is any bystanders within several yards either.
Yeah, but you can worry about that for the next guy. This is the next guy's problem.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, I can't actually make her climb that ladder faster.
Nope.
She's gonna climb that ladder all the way.
Hey, you know what? I'm surprised that in a game this old that they even had ladder climbing animations. Because in many newer games, or more, not newer, but more recent games than this, like Fallout 4, for example, there is no ladder climbing animations. You basically just go through a loading screen whenever there's a ladder.
Yeah, odd, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's definitely possible because there are modders out there who have created ladders and climbable ladders that you can actually watch your character climb.
Yep.
In Fallout 4.
Oh, I have more things I need to take the bullets out of now.
And even in games like Baldur's Gate, you can climb, right? Like you can climb rock shelves. You know, like if the surface you're trying to climb to isn't too high, you can reach up and grab it and climb up onto it. And they also have climbable surfaces, you know, like rock faces or ladders or whatever, right? Like they have all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's Central Park.
Yeah, and you got to figure out how to stop the water running so you can cross that canal so you don't get your boots wet.
Yeah, I think part of that is flushing Central Park down the drain, too.
Oh. It's amazing how you've got this ridiculously kitted up weapon that you're using, but every time you see a cutscene, she's got like the little
the little M8 4F,
the little like 9mm pistol there, right?
Well, hey, who says what my thing is 9mm? I mean, I know it fires shotgun shells and everything else, but it's totally 9mm.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, no, it's probably 45. Let's be real. It's 45 is better than 9mm. Fuck the metric system. Insert the real men use 45 meme here.
Yeah.
That'll make a whole bunch of people leave nasty 9mm comments.
Range +1s.
Yeah, and we've got to get another one, so we'll, like, discard Medicine 3, because we have a bunch of those. This is why it's good, though, to go and explore and find all these encounters, even though that one's like a, sort of like a mini-boss encounter, almost. It's still good to go out of your way to find it, because,
Yeah. Well, aside from the level farming aspect, there's also the,
gun upgrades.
The looting, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the looting. The gun upgrades.
It is. It's a time-honored tradition in RPGs, right? You gotta go around and pick up all the loot.
Diablo 2 leaves a sour taste in my mouth over that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, they got a little carried away with it there. I mean,
It kind of became like the main thing now. Like 3/4 of the items you encounter are just garbage.
yeah.
You ever play a game like Borderlands, it's like that too, or you play a game like, oh, I don't know, just about any modern game in that kind of style. It's just, whereas in Diablo 1, it was just like, you know, like, at least every item you could use it to beat the game if you really want to, you know, kill yourself and suffer yourself. Whereas in Diablo 2, it's just, you know, it's all garbage. Don't even bother trying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like you kill like one lowly enemy and you know, like 500 gold pieces and 3 weapons and 2 suits of armor pop out, right? Like, it's ridiculous. Well, you made a bunch of noise.
Yep. This is flushing Central Park down the drain.
Oh, okay.
And so Central Park goes, yeah, you want to flush me down? Fuck you.
That blob is a whole lot smarter than a blob should be.
Well, you know. And then we come out here and, yeah, the only thing you need to do in order to empty this area out is shut the fucking pump off after you're done with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it still keeps pumping water into this area somehow, through that debris. I'm pretty sure it comes through that debris.
Oh, well. Obviously, that debris is not enough to stop the flow of water.
And now we're in the Central Park, or sorry, in the subway station area. Oh, I must have gotten up down near the bottom of this area. We actually came out near the bottom.
And your inventory's full.
Yeah, what else is new? Oh, it's a critical evade too, so I'll just use it and then pick this up. I doubt with all the healing items I've got that I'm even going to use all of them for this fight here. What is this? We'll put a medicine 3 in here, and we'll pick it up after. I'll probably just leave it in that box for now, because there's going to be other stuff I have to pick up too.
Yeah.
Oh, I put a medicine 3 in a box to pick up a medicine 3.
Yep, you did.
Anyways, because we've got a disc change coming up, I'm going to save my game here. Even though I don't think the boss is going to be all that big of a deal, because, I mean, we've been mostly mowing through everything so far.
Yeah, but it's a good idea to save once in a while.
That's right.
Because you never know, you can get memory card corruption or something weird like that too, right?
Or game crashes when you go to switch discs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can shoot you faster than you can dig a hole.
Yeah.
And I think this is another Medicine 3. Yeah, it's literally another Medicine 3. They gave an interesting camera angle, though. I guess they wanted to show off the graffiti there or something.
Yeah. Oh, here we are with the big centipede boss.
Well, we're gonna start with haste. And then shoot it in the face.
No, you haven't actually used haste.
I think I used
much.
it during the spider boss a couple times.
Yeah. Well, you've already got it to split into 4. Ugh.
Now that one has a little bit more hit points, so we'll shoot it again. There, I killed it before it could actually land its attack.
Yep.
Oh look, it's another M79. Man, New York subways are just and sewers are just
Yeah, but look at all
great
those
places.
tools that you have. You could break down one of the ones that you got there.
They're fantastic. You know, if you just want like a free grenade launcher, go wander in like the New York subway and sewer area.
Well, of course.
No, don't do that. You'll probably die from sewer gases, but yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes me wonder about these big open sewer tunnels. I know in another episode I talked about that a little bit. And I don't know whether that's really a thing or not. I mean, you see that kind of thing in TV and shows and movies too, right?
Yep.
But where we live, we don't actually have sewer systems like that.
And who knows, maybe it's because this area
it's all just piping.
It might be because this area is older, or sorry, newer, or it might be because it's so damn cold out here, or who knows. I really couldn't tell you why that is.
Yeah, because I know my brother-in-law worked for the drainage department here for many years, and he talked about that there were some tunnels, but they were more like great big huge pipes.
Yeah.
Not actual dressed stone or brick or whatever like these things are, right? And all they were is just a great big pipe, and these things, he told me most of them, he's about 6 feet tall, and he told me that most of them he could stand upright in.
Yeah.
But they were not, like that so tall that he could, felt comfortably stand straight up and down kind of thing, right?
I think I'm just going to toss some medicine on the ground.
Well, some other adventurer can come along and find that one. Maybe it will save their life.
No, it's mostly going to be like on the ground, and when it hits the ground, you just completely forget that it exists. You can never go back and get it ever again.
Yeah.
It just gets deleted from existence.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Aya doesn't drop them on the ground. What she does is she takes her fire starter on her knife, and she does that a couple times, and then fucking incinerates the fucking bottle of medicine somehow. And we gotta loot this guy, because this is the thing that you gotta do, and then she'll go and she'll turn.
The slime is going to
The museum.
to get a little culture.
Sure. We'll go with that. Now I have to change discs, so we will be right back. And we're back.
All right, successfully changed discs. Actually, that's something you don't see anymore, right?
Yeah, you don't see that kind of thing in... I don't even know if you saw it in the PS2 era, because, DVDs could already hold, like, 4.5 gigs of data, but, you know.
But
I guess
back in
PlayStation CDs, I think, were like 640 megs or something.
Yeah, well, back in the days when this game came out too, this game was very ambitious for that time, right?
Yeah, with all the full motion cutscenes and everything. That's probably what takes up the majority of the disk space. Okay, and we climb up onto the platform. And then I can probably, you know, loot and get some of my crap back. Although, am I carrying? Yeah, I'm carrying too much, so we can't get the medicine 3s anymore.
Well, I guess you're just going to have to leave them there because you're going to find a steady diet of medicine 3s from now on anyways.
Yeah, I'm almost going to wish that I had more medicine 4s, right?
Yeah. Yeah, those ones I don't think are common, but the medicine 3s at this point in the game are pretty common.
Anyways, I'm going to go back to the police station. I got some crap I've got to dump off. Look at that, they've finally cleaned up. At least the computer monitor didn't get smashed. And all that.
Maybe they just got a new one.
Nope, it totally didn't get smashed. You gotta preserve all your CRTs. Mm-hmm. Don't cause harm to your CRT. You'll make me very sad. Now we can get some ammo here out of this box, if I can align myself with it. And then we gotta dump more crap off on Wayne. See, I'm getting closer to hitting the equipment limit in the storage here.
Yeah.
This entire fucking warehouse is going to be filled up with Aya's weapons. Right, you just go looking in the warehouse because you need to arm some cops, and then every box just says Aya on it, right?
So, weapons and armor items, you have a limit to how many you can store?
Yeah, eventually. It's kind of, I guess I'd say it's like enough room for like, oh, I don't know. I want to say it's like enough room for 2 playthroughs worth of items. And then if you try to store more than 2 playthroughs worth of items, then you can't.
Oh. What about 300 pieces of junk, though?
No, there's no way you could fit that in storage. That's why you have to discard it with Wayne.
Oh, okay. That's how that works.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he keeps an internal tally in his head
yeah.
of how many pieces of junk you distributed, and hopefully you've been sort of keeping track.
So what are those stupid charm things supposed to be for anyway? They just take up inventory slots?
That's what you'd think, right? Because they don't seem to be good for anything, but actually this one I think boosts critical hits. This one might help you run away, and then one of them might have something to do with item drops. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I know one of them boosts critical hits, and then if all 3 charms are in your inventory, it amplifies the effect of all 3.
Okay.
And so while the other 2 effects might not be very good, they both contribute to even more critical hits.
Okay. So in other words, then they are in fact useful, even though they don't appear to be.
That's right. I'll take this medicine 4 and store it, because I don't want to use a medicine 4. I'm kind of hoarding medicine 4s for the end of the Chrysler Tower there.
How many have you got now?
Oh, I don't know.
1?
No, we've got, let's see here. If we go back after sorting. And I don't know how many I'll need, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's too bad you can't group those like items, eh? So that a group of like items only takes up 1 slot.
Huh. I mean, I guess I don't really mind. Oop, I accidentally talked to Wayne again. But, it's mostly just, I like to, well, medicine 4s are kind of like, you know how you play a game, and you hold on to something thinking that you might need it just in case?
Yeah, I know.
And you hold on to it forever, and then you just never use it?
Yep.
Yeah. That's what medicine 4s are like.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I do it in every one of these types of games that I play, right?
Anyways, how are we doing on time here?
Well, we're creeping up on an hour and a half.
Well, maybe I'll do warehouse and a bit of museum in the next episode. Because those are the only things we've got to do now before we go and head straight off to the Chrysler Tower. Because basically what I'll do is I'll complete every single room in the museum up to the very last room, which triggers the final sequence where you get on the ship and everything.
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, I'll just walk over to the Chrysler Tower and start walking up that.
Okay.
So, we'll handle that all in the next episode.
All right. Well, I guess until then.
I'm RecV5.
And I am Sandman99.
Have a good one.